I'll bring in Mr. Mitti Borwala back into this conversation. Sir, one of the main reasons, possibly the genesis of this anger, which has been simmering, and clearly there are forces which keep stirring the pot, is the fact that it wasn't that there wasn't any protest, it wasn't that there wasn't any anger, once it was known what the spokesperson had said in a particular debate. But no action was taken for over 8 days. The action came when the Islamic states, Islamic nations stepped in. So is there a sense of alienation at that as well?
No, undoubtedly. The alienation goes prior to the Nupur Sharma incident. The alienation is stark. The insecurity is stark. The fear is stark. People don't tend to understand the level of fear within the Indian Muslim community, especially when they call for genocide. And I mean, where is the Home Minister and where is the Prime Minister? So the point is, what is really required, and I think people like Sudhindra Kulkarni and us, whether the Prime Minister speaks out or not is a different issue now. I think as members of civil society, we need to have peace meetings in all of our cities. We need to have an organized peace effort in all our cities of not only meetings with Muslims, but meetings of various communities, all communities coming together. And so that we, next Friday, and I think we need to prepare for next Friday. If our senior most police inspector is saying that at Prayagraj there were no police after a protest in Kanpur flared up last Friday, then what on earth is going on? So the point is, I know, I mean, in Bombay we had peace, in Delhi we had peace. In fact, the Imam of Bukhari of Jama Masjid said, I didn't know who called for that, the slogans that happened over there. So I do not really think this was an organized protest. Fridays are a day of gathering, and then things tend to get, they just go along
Mr. Mitti Borwala, there was a WhatsApp message that went out. It would be a little foolhardy to say that it wasn't organized, because city after city erupted practically at the same time.
No, but I don't know about that message, but the point is, all it takes is to gather in the masjid at 1:30 in the afternoon, and then you walk out of the masjid and you're walking out in a procession. So I really do not think this is a coordinated effort, because most of the protests have been peaceful. The one in Navi Mumbai was peaceful. Most of the protests have been peaceful. These three have broken out. It is a sign of great worry for this country.
Yes.
And the only thing is, let the Muslims know that by protesting in this manner, you are insulting the memory of the Prophet and insulting Islam. And this is not what India is about or the Constitution is about.
Right.
So totally abjure from violence. And the point is, next Friday, even if you want to protest, it is fine. But it has to be peaceful. And the other point I would like to say is, I think it is now up to secular activists who need to reach out to all the communities and bring about this dialogue and this call for peace. In fact, today I got a call from Tushar Gandhiji, the great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. We are heading, and I think with Sudhindra Kulkarni here in Bombay as well, we will start this process on Monday itself by calling for peace meetings in our city to ensure that none of these things happen in Bombay or in any part of the country.
Right. Mr. Mitti Borwala, I just want to also put on record that there was a WhatsApp message that was circulated, and it was circulated widely, asking for people to gather and protest.
Fair enough.
But I just want to put that on record, because that's what had happened in terms of the coordination of these protests. But I want to go back to Mr. A.L. Banerjee, the former DGP UP, who's joining us. And Mr. Banerjee, the fact is, because there is so much distrust in the administration, in the system, sadly in policing as well, where this one community comes into question. Now, how do you deal a hand which seems to suggest that you're coming down on the miscreants, yet the administration is impartial in the rule of law?
It is very easy. When it is always said that justice should not only be done, but it should seem to have been done. If you make arrests outright, if you take up people who are really involved, I don't think any community, any person or any people are going to call it that it has been one-sided affair. So the police can really, in these kinds of things, show that we are even-handed.
Mr. Sudhindra Kulkarni, is this possibly the hour of reckoning for our politicians are concerned? Because when you talk about politics, it's they and the politicians and the netas who stir this communal pot in whichever way it suits them. Even when you talk about, the incumbent government, schemes are for everyone. There's sabka saath, sabka vikas, yet there is a community which feels alienated and discriminated against.
You're right. It is truly an hour of reckoning for the political establishment and for all governments, central, state governments. Never in India's history, independent history I mean, have our Muslim brethren felt so insecure as they do now. There were terrible riots at the time of partition, India's independence. But fortunately, we had leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, like Nehru, in whom Indian Muslims reposed their trust, and very soon the trauma of partition was put behind, and there was a sense of harmony created. Unfortunately, in the last 8 years, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, nobody believes that it is being followed. It is just a slogan. It has no meaning whatsoever. A whole community is isolated, disempowered. Take, for example, the fact that today in the entire parliament, the BJP has 301 members in the Lok Sabha, but not a single Muslim MP. What does it mean? It gives a message to the Muslim community that the ruling party does not care for them. It does not want them. There is simply no outreach of any kind on the part of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister. So this anger is building up. This alienation is building up. And Nupur Sharma incident has it's been a crescendo.